I can't believe I was looking forward to this movie. The first Venom movie, despite what so many people say, was actually quite entertaining. So I guess since the first movie was entertaining enough, I was looking forward to the sequel. I made a poster analysis for this movie. This was the first superhero movie I was looking forward to since... What was the last superhero movie I was looking forward to? It's been a while since I was excited about superhero movies. What I'm trying to say is that I was looking forward to this movie. I wasn't expecting anything on the level of Aliens or Jurassic Park, but I was looking forward to this movie. Although I did get a little concerned the day before the movie was released, when one of the scenes was shown off on YouTube. This wasn't a leak from someone inside the studio, this was an official sneak peek from Sony themselves. And on the PlayStation YouTube channel, for some reason. It was the one scene of the movie that I wanted to see the most. The scene where Carnage first transforms and goes on a rampage inside the prison. But holy cow, it had some atrocious editing. I thought to myself, that doesn't mean anything. Lots of studios will show sneak peeks of a movie, but it will be edited down as to not give away the whole product. Well, I went to see it in theaters, and was that the case? Absolutely not. This clip was ripped straight from the final cut of the movie, and it sucks. Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage might have the worst editing of a movie that I have ever seen, and that's rich coming from me. I edit YouTube videos. My soundstage is a bunch of t-shirts taped to a wall. And do I think I have the right to critique this editing? Yes, because it is that bad. Let's just stop wasting time and talk about how this is so awful. I only need to spotlight that one scene that was shown off on the PlayStation YouTube channel. It's called The Birth of Carnage, and it is the scene that would have made or broke the movie for me. And as I have already stated, it broke the movie. The scene starts with Cletus Kasady being given the death sentence. The curtain opens up with Cletus strapped down on the chair in this somber shot where you feel the weight of someone's life about to be taken away. And the families of the people he murdered are sitting on the other side of the glass, waiting for his punishment to be given. Cletus is mumbling words about chaos soon coming, and the warden asks for his final words. Cletus responds to the request by telling everyone, enjoy the show. The clock strikes 9 o'clock, and the pumps are activated to stop his heart. As the liquid goes down the tube into his bloodstream, it is stopped by a bloody-looking substance. Cletus then starts convulsing and transforming, and it is here that the problems begin. Cletus's transformation, for the most part, has been these tiny fleshy tendrils starting to grow out of his torso. But then, that all fast forwards to a shot of a clawed red arm reaching towards the warden. Which is funny because the last shot we saw of that arm was where it was strapped down on a table. How did the arm get out of the straps? Did he break the restraints, or did this new arm grow out of his shoulder? There's no shots that show this happening, so it leaves sharp-eyed viewers in the dark about what happened. You can tell something's missing here. If they had included that shot, they could have given a preview of what Carnage is capable of. But there's no time to be distracted because Cletus, with his new tentacles, is breaking out of the execution box. The box explodes and Cletus Kasady has now fully transformed into Carnage. After a quick demonstration of his weakness to sound, Carnage starts to chase the warden into a different part of the prison. Although, I'm almost tempted to call this another scene, because we have never seen this part of the prison before. For all we can tell, the warden could have run to the other side of the prison over an undisclosed period of time. This would have been an easy fix with just a simple L cut. If you don't know what an L or J cut is, let me give you a little demonstration with footage I captured from Breath of the Wild. This is an L cut that is used to connect two shots together. If you look at this on the editing timeline, you will see the two clips and their audio. This is an L cut, where the audio of the first shot is being carried over to the next clip. In this case, Link is running away from a roaring Lionel, but the roar of the Lionel is almost following him as he runs away. But there are also J cuts, where the audio from the next shot is heard before the shot is seen, like this. L-cuts and J-cuts can be used in many different ways to help the storytelling. So connecting these two clips together with an L-cut of Carnage's roar would have helped out at least a little bit. But then we jump into some shots that honestly just baffle me. The warden takes off and then some guards come in to take care of Carnage. It shows the guards shooting at Carnage, and then Carnage creates this hole in his sternum to let the bullets pass through. But then the guards just start to fall over dead, and then we see this shot of Carnage retracting some limb. Was Carnage reflecting the bullets back, or did the filmmakers forget to render some spiked tendrils stabbing the guards? You know what, I'm not going to focus on this for too long. It's just another example of how the editing is not giving enough information about what is happening in this scene. And sadly, there are even more examples to come. But before any of that, there are a bunch of shots of Carnage going on a rampage. Pulling doors from hinges, jumping around the cells, throwing people around, and French kissing this one guard. This is awesome for the inmates as they cheer Carnage on. But then the editing completely falls apart. Okay, let's get a good feel for this damage. We get a shot of the inmates cheering Carnage on. A shot where Carnage is standing above everyone looking at the audience of inmates. We get an extreme close-up shot of Carnage, and then we get a shot of Carnage turning into a tornado with all the inmates running away. There are numerous things wrong with these clips here. The worst offense is this extreme close-up shot. Close-up shots like this are used for many reasons. Sometimes the filmmakers want to emphasize the actor in shots like this, to give more emotion, and to make audiences really try and get into the minds of the character. But these shots are frequently used to show what the character is looking at. When you cut from a shot of a character reacting to something, then the following shot will typically show what that character is focusing on. Normally, I would like to cite a specific example that does this really well, although editing like this is, well, it's everywhere. I'm honestly amazed that this was screwed up. So by looking at the fleshy face that gives French kisses dead in the eye, you would normally expect to see what he is looking at in that moment. But no, instead we get a sudden shot of Carnage performing a super powerful finisher move. This editing gives me whiplash because of how bad it is. There is also a massive issue with spacing here. In the shot prior to Carnage's close-up shot, it shows him looking down at the inmates, or at least elevated and a considerable distance away from everyone else. So can someone please explain to me how Carnage got from this platform that we don't see to the center of everyone making a tornado in the course of 1 second? Anyways, this scene is almost over. Well, that tornado move seems to take out most of the inmates surrounding him. Carnage does the twirly whirly and the... Wait a minute. Is that the warden? Where has he been this whole time? I thought he got the hell out of this mess in the shot where he left those guards to deal with Carnage. But the way that Carnage grabs the warden and talks to him makes it seem like the warden was Carnage's target this whole time. Well, it turns out that the warden was here the entire time. You just didn't realize because after this shot with the warden running off between the guards, there wasn't a solid shot showing the warden until Carnage took off with his tornado finishing move. There are shots that show the warden here, 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 and here. The problem is that these shots are so fast and focus on different things that the warden is almost completely forgotten by the film, and as a result, the audience as well. So, as it turns out, the warden was Carnage's target all along. We just never got any good shots to remind us that the warden was still here, and was in fact being pursued by Carnage. Maybe that's what the close-up shot of Carnage was for, to show some sort of shot of the warden running away, showing that Carnage does indeed care where the warden is. In fact, I am almost positive that something like this was supposed to be in the movie. It's just that the editing here is trash. I loathe this scene. It has some of the worst editing in a movie that I have ever seen, and my problems go beyond just the scene. The nonsensical jumping around of the editing kind of exemplifies this movie. Things just happen through it, and the filmmakers seem to expect that people will accept it. And somehow, people did, because for reasons that I do not understand, this movie has better ratings than the first one. The first Venom might not be perfect, but it is leagues better than the sequel. There is so much more to movies than just good-looking actors, pretty screenshots, and half-decent scripts. There are layers of depth to filmmaking that some critics don't even take into consideration when talking about movies. So sure, some people have the brains to acknowledge some of the amazing production designs and soundtracks in movies, but rarely, if ever, do you hear about the editing of the movie. And that is in fact a good thing. If your attention in a movie is being drawn away by the editing, that means the editor failed at their job. And the editing in Venom, Let There Be Carnage, keeps pulling away the attention of the audience. Just how like a simple change of aspect ratio can turn a standard movie monster into a colossus, the editing of a movie can make or break the whole experience. It's obvious that people do not understand enough about film. So if you learned something here today about editing, great! Now you have a better understanding of why this movie deserves to be condemned for how horrible it is. Now, if you will excuse me, I want to go watch some actually good movies. Thanks for watching until the end of this video, and I thought I might ask you to like and subscribe, but I did just spend a bunch of time telling you why this movie you liked is so bad. So I have a hard time imagining that you want to subscribe for that. Anyways, I'm out of here. Bye.